Welcome. My name is Smokey Raiin, and I hope you enjoy this little presentation, which is the blossoming meta lotus of human consciousness. It's my epic transformation from Luddite to E-Joy Evolutionist. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I like to do is just take a moment to say thank you to Melissa Bento for inviting all of us together here today. This is so thrilling. I'm really happy to be here. I think this is a great, or the singularly, the greatest topic we can be discussing right now. So I want to just take a moment to tell you about myself. So over 20 years ago, I started an experiment, a laughter experiment called the Laffathon. And the Laffathon experiment, I would love to invite you all to join me with it right now. So what it is to laugh and or smile every single day, especially when you don't feel like it, because that's when you need it most, right? So the wonderful gift, besides having improved health, improved sleep, better performance, increased memory, increased productivity, increased creativity, increased problem solving, boosted immune system, stronger cardiovascular system, stronger respiratory system, both brain hemispheres working at the same time. Besides all that good stuff, the value of the experiment is that it creates mindfulness. Because when you challenge yourself to laugh and or smile every day, 400 times a day, you start becoming mindful of what you're doing and how you're doing it. So this is a very valuable experiment to try in your life for a multitude of reasons, and it'll help you on a multitude of levels. So please do join, and you can find out more information about it at www.laffathon, that's LAFFATHON.com. So now, when Melissa told me about this wonderful portal that she is creating, I took a look at her website, and I just want to refer to something that she wrote on her website. So welcome, pioneers. Just relax with me for a few, and let's review and make some magic together. So what Melissa says here is, as we evolve as humans, our sense of self through mindfulness has evolved with us. We believe that mindfulness is an integral part of being human, and technology is a great tool to help us in the pursuit of attaining balance. I couldn't agree more. So let me share my story with you. So I'm going to just go ahead and dive into it, and we'll see what we can do to help you share your story in the future as well. So before we go ahead and dive into it, we have been in a very stressful time in our human history. Right now is incredibly stressful. So let's take a moment to have a little fun and go ahead and clear out our minds a little bit and get this mindfulness happening right now. So what I want you to do is to use your imagination and pull out some mental floss. string, just pull it out. If you're right out of your imagination and pull this string, the mental floss string out, probably need a pretty good piece, pretty good lengthy piece there. And just rip it off. There we go. And then start stuffing it in your ear. Get that in your ear. And when it starts coming out, just go ahead and pull it out. And there we go. And once you got both ends, you can do some mental floss. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Clean that brain out. You don't need all that stuff in there making you mental. So get rid of it. Get rid of all the gook you don't need in there anymore. Oh, my God. Fake news. What? Okay. Oh, it feels better already. Okay. Alrighty. Then you could just either, how about recycling that right into the compost? Yep, just put it in the compost. We're done. Okay, now that we got that gook out of our brains, let's just take a moment to center ourselves and get some balance right now. So we'll just go ahead. We're going to do a couple of deep breaths here. And what I'd like you to do is pretend like you're at your 100-year-old birthday party. You're turning 100 today. You've got a giant cake in front of you with 100 candles. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath and then you're going to blow the candles out. So the goal of this breath is to take a breath in and have the exhale be approximately twice as long as the inhale. Okay, so everybody, 1, 2, and 3, and take a deep breath. And blow out your candles. And another deep breath. Mm-mm. One more time. All right. That feels nice, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you my tale. And I'm going to start way back when I was in high school. Now, I am about 65 million years old, just to let you know. Just get that out there on the table. I did get a facelift this morning when I smiled. So, back when I was in high school, I joined the computer club, and these were back in the dial-up modem days, friends. And you actually had to know a little bit of code to even go on the dial-up modem style computers back then. So after I graduated from high school, I moved out to LA. When I relocated to LA, I got a job with an organization, a company rather, called CompuServe. CompuServe, some of you might know, was the first company that offered emails. So the very first thing that we did was started marketing emails, the use of email systems to corporate entities in Los Angeles. So I worked for the marketing department, and that's what we were doing. And then after living in LA for a few years, I relocated and moved over to Hawaii. Now, when I moved to Hawaii, I had an experience that I hadn't had before. So I found myself taking a shower, my friends, underneath a waterfall, and it was glorious. And to this day, I still clearly remember my first shower underneath a waterfall, freshwater waterfall, after swimming in the ocean in Hawaii. And I remember that was a defining moment for me because as I stood under that waterfall, I remember thinking to myself, so this is it. This is what real life is supposed to be about. And thinking back to that moment, I realized that what was happening in that moment is that I was becoming mindful. I was getting in the present moment. I wasn't thinking about when my next, this or that was happening, or when I had to be here or there, and all this kind of stuff. I had all that stuff stripped away from me and was just in that beautiful, epic moment in nature. And it changed me. It made me want to keep experiencing nature. It made me want to keep having fun in nature and forget about everything else. I had started a nonprofit environmental peace organization, and I declared myself then and there to be a Luddite. A Luddite is someone who denounces technology and, in fact, thinks that technology is bad. So that's what happened. I went from somebody who was working on the cutting edge of technology to somebody that did not like it, didn't want it to be part of their lives whatsoever. So, folks, I went decades without technology. Oh, how did I do it? It was easy. But then something else happened. I went to visit my brother in New Orleans. Excuse me. And while I was visiting my brother, he said to me, he picked up his cell phone and said to me, so, Smokey, what's your cell phone number? He'd been calling my hard line at home. And I said, brother, I don't have a cell phone. And he said, Smokey, you're a dinosaur. And I said, brother, I am not a dinosaur. I am not a dinosaur. And then, of course, I realized I was a dinosaur. And I said to him, you know, I'm a Luddite. However, because you, my brother, asked me to get a cell phone, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I got a flip phone. Even though we were way past the point of flip phones on the market, I got an old flip style phone. And that was my beginning of my new technological adventure. So, not too shortly after that, I decided to go back to school. And when I went back to school, I remember telling my friends, because they had asked me what kind of computer I was getting for school, and I remember saying, oh, I'm not getting a computer for school. I mean, I've got notebooks and papers, and pens, so I don't need a computer. And they laughed. I remember them laughing. And I didn't know why until I got to school, and every bit of my homework was on the computer. And guess what? I didn't know how to use the computer. So I had to go to take a class, a workshop that was just going to show me how to use the portal of the school's uh, to use the school's portal to, navigate the portal to just to be able to get to my classroom homework and pursue my homework from there. So I went to this workshop to learn how to navigate the portal, and they had um, a raffle contest, and I won the contest. And they brought me up to the front of the classroom to give me my prize, and they said, you've won this yada yada beautiful thumbnail. They put it in my hand. I turned around to the classroom and said, "What is this?" Everybody roared with laughter. Everybody else actually knew what it was. I apparently was the only one who didn't. So I'm telling you that story to explain to you how little I knew about technology at this point. So I went ahead and went on with school, and I got a certification and got a degree, and then went on to the university. And as I was studying at the university, it really dawned on me in a deep way that if I didn't understand more about technology, I wasn't going to be able to do too much as far as pursuing my dreams and my passions. This was going to hold me back. So I went back to school specifically to study technology, and I earned a certification, computer applications specialist certification. And something amazing happened when I got out of school. I started teaching other people how to use technology. And I'll share the story that started it all for me. A friend of mine, her husband had passed away, and so she was now dealing with a little financial shortage because she no longer had two incomes. So she needed to increase her income. So she got a job working, doing land management, collecting rents from rentals and stuff for her landlord. And so she called me to tell me about this great job that she got. And then 2 days later, called me crying because they had dropped off a computer to her and told her that she had to do a spreadsheet. She had to do an Excel sheet that, to keep track of what rentals were available, who paid the rent, and all that good jazz. She didn't have any experience with technology, was devastated, and thought that was going to be a short-lived career for her in property management. However, I went over to her place and tutored her, helped her put together the sheet, helped her understand it. Because I knew, because I had started from nothing, from knowing nothing, so I knew how to give this knowledge to her in a way that was digestible in little pieces, how to help her take notes, and how to guide her. I even loaned her my Excel book, and so how to guide her through studying, and it was fantastic. So that was the beginning of me tutoring people in technology and doing websites and stuff like that. So I was, it was just an amazing experience. It was so empowering to put myself through that technological boot camp. I mean, when I was taking these classes, I was taking 6 computer classes at a time for a couple semesters, and I was really, um, well, some days, I'll put it this way, some days were smooth, and other days weren't. Other days found me denouncing technology, reclaiming my Luddite status, just being furious with programming developers and the infancy of technology, and frankly, cussing like a sailor. I used every word in the book and made up some too. So, it was a challenging time. But what happened is I learned more and more and more how to center myself, how to balance myself, how to work with myself. And then I was able to develop these skills enough to share them with other people. And so it changed my life and it began changing other people's lives. And it was marvelous. However, my passion, my pet project, the Laffathon, was put on the back burner. So I continued rather, doing the job that I was doing, which was working in tourism in Sedona. And although I had developed these skills and they were helping me in that position, I had not applied them to my own projects, my own passions. And so then the pandemic came along and I wasn't able to do my tourism job any longer. And I was spending a lot of time, like we all were, at home in my own little cocoon. Then something wonderful happened. I started volunteering through technology online. I started doing some volunteer work, and the folks I was volunteering with, some pretty nice sized organizations rather, they found out about my Laughathon project and went wild, and they started pursuing me to do work for them and creating levity for their staff and their volunteers. And so all of a sudden, my passion project that was put on the back burner became front and center. And now I've had some exciting few months here, these last few months. They've been the most craziest months I could ever have dreamed up of because, with the pandemic, with our civil unrest, it has just been bonkers. But beyond that, there is this essence of super consciousness beginning to explode. It's as if it's being catalyzed by the current challenges that we face. And Melissa, bringing us together today, all you pioneers of MindSoul.Tech, you are the ones who are going to make a difference. And bringing this consciousness to life in a way that it can accelerate everyone else's consciousness and create mindful living and evolution of consciousness in our planet now and in the way that we live and deal with each other. So these are really exciting times, and I'm really happy to be here to chat with you, share my story, and also I want to inspire you and motivate you to pursue your passions. So I want to talk to you about skill sets right now, and there's a couple of things. And that we can do to help unlock your blossoming potential. So what I would like to do is I would like to really just shred. I'm going to become a tiger. Rawr, 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 rawr. I'm shredding all your limitations right now. Every limitation from the past, from the present, and future limitations too. I just want to shred those limitations and set you free. So, what I mean by that is that we often, like to categorize things. The problem with doing that is when we put this into this box and this into this box and yada yada, and we pursue that, we kind of create an order of things in our mind that we feel like this has to be done in this order, this has to happen like this has to happen like this has to happen like this for this to happen and that to happen. And we create this false conditioning in our minds of the way something has to be pursued. That's why we want to shred those limitations, because I'm telling you that you don't have to have those limitations in your life. They're not serving any purpose anymore. You don't have to have those categories. You don't have to have that order. When you do that stuff, you're really putting shackles on yourself. And we want to unshackle you. So, there's a magic key that can unshackle you. And I want to give you that magic key today. So, we've all heard the concept of going with the flow. Go with the flow. And that's a wonderful concept, you know, um, generally, to go with the flow. However, there is a more effective concept that you can work with today. So let's throw that concept out. And this concept that can free you is very simple. You are the flow. So you're not subject to the flow. You are the flow. When you become one with the flow, then you don't get knocked out of balance. You know, life is like a little bit of a sumo wrestling match sometimes. Things happen that challenge our balance and just knock us down, knock us out of the ring. So, what this does, when you become the flow, you stop getting knocked out of the ring. You no longer lose your balance. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's unlike any other feeling I've ever experienced. So we're going to talk about some ways to get this flow going within you so that you become the flow. So right now, what I'd like you to do is to close your eyes and stretch up and reach up to the highest star that you can see in your imagination, and just hold on to that star with both hands. Gently hold on to that star. And as you're holding on to that star, you feel that brightness flowing through you, through your whole body, right from the heavens, straight through your crown chakra, through your hands, through your crown chakra, through down through all your chakras, right through your feet, right through the ground. And as this light charges through you, you are the flow. As you feel it, you know you're the flow. As that light fills every cell in your body with illumination, as you shine brighter and brighter, and you are filling your essence up with this glorious starlight, you are becoming the flow. And now, my friends, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, you are the flow. You are the flow. So say it with me. I am the flow. I am the flow. I am the flow. Sing it. I am the flow. I am the flow. I am the flow. Don't you know? Okay, open your eyes, folks. So I want to share something else with you that will make you a master student of life. And that is to let go of your inner critic, your inner judge. As you become more mindful and you hear the inner talk in your mind's ear, pay attention to what it's saying. I started doing this when I was in school. My goal was to become a master student, and I did. And then I extended that into life. And that's what I want to invite you to do today. Because when you extend that into your life, it's like magic happens. It really is. You know, I remember when I first in school addressed the inner critic. It's really funny. The inner critic wants to blame you for things and everybody else around you. But the problem with the inner critic is the inner critic doesn't take responsibility. So that's all it is, folks. I invite you to take responsibility, to let that inner critic go. For example, suppose you're in school. You could say, your inner critic could say something like this. That teacher wants me to fail this exam. I know it. Or your inner critic could say something like this. You know, I'm pretty sure if I just study for a half hour for that test on Sunday, that I could probably have a glorious time going out tonight, Friday night, and staying out at the club all night. And even though I have to work early tomorrow and definitely won't get any homework done, that's okay because that's a dumb class anyway, even though I just paid $5,000 for the course. You see what I'm saying? So when you address your inner critic and turn your inner critic into your best friend, that's when you're going to see some major changes in your life. So it's really exciting, folks. I invite you to transform that critic, that judge, into your best friend who is looking out for your best interest and the best interest of others as well. So when you become your own best friend, instead of saying, that teacher wants me to flunk this class, I know that teacher is not going to give me a passing grade for this test. What you start saying to yourself instead is, this is a challenging class. I'm going to find some way to make sure that I pass this test. I think I'm going to go get some extra help on this. There's a tutor in the Learning Center that can help me. I heard somebody else mention that the other day. You find ways to help yourself. You find ways to make things happen that are going to blossom your lotus. So that is the power of becoming your own best friend. You become the major part of your support system. You become the person you turn to. You become the person you depend on. You become what you need. And yay! It's like you turn from victim to superhero. It's amazing. It's a great feeling. It changes everything. And it's just, what is it? A shift in your perspective. So I invite you today to hold your hand and say, I am my own best friend. Close your eyes and say it and mean it. I am my own best friend. I am my own best friend. Okay, you can open your eyes, friends. And the wonderful thing about becoming your own best friend is that you learn to become a better friend to yourself, and you also learn how to become a better friend to your friends and family around you. So it is amazing. So what else can we do here today? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, going to go back to you're the flow, and I want to just really reiterate that adaptability, that flexibility that you created within yourself today is what is going to carry you forward and carry your passions right into your life so they can tickle you like they're supposed to do. Okay? So I want to just tell you that this is the the thing that I think a lot of us are missing in our pursuit of our passions is that we want to qualify how they manifest. So I want to deeply express to you right now that you will be more satisfied, you will be happier if you release those qualifications. Just let them bloom in the ways that they organically will bloom. They will carry you farther, faster than if you're pushing things in this, order that, like I was speaking about earlier. Okay, so you just really want to release yourself from your inner and your outer roadblocks. You want to, in essence, vanquish your fears along with your expectations. When you put those expectations down, then the fears quelch as well. And then your spiritual closet is cleared out so you can fill it up with things that are meaningful to you, things that are going to serve your life right now. So let's just take a moment and just breathe. And let's just be in touch with our mindfulness. And let's be in touch with our hearts. And let's be in touch with our passions. And let's allow our passions the freedom of breath that they deserve. Because when we do that, something wonderful happens. Our passions begin to have a life of their own. And suddenly, we're not carrying them anymore. They're carrying us. It's a wonderful thing. I'm really, really happy to be able to share with you these wonderful events that have happened in my life. And I can't wait to hear about your epic journeys. We all have a tale to share, and your journeys are just beginning. So please come back and share them with me. I will look forward to it with all of my heart. I sure will. I want to butter you up now. I want to butter you up. I want to tell you that I think you're all so sweet for being here. You are beautiful MindSoul.Tech people, pioneers that are going to make a difference. So keep shining. Don't give up, because there ain't no good reason to. Keep your dreams blossoming. And as your lotus petals begin to open, and this lotus opens here, and another lotus opens here, and another lotus opens here, and so on, and so on, and so on, we see that something wonderful is happening. A beautiful meta lotus is opening. And this is a meta lotus of human consciousness evolving. And as this opens and evolves, our positive changes are going to make the greatest difference on this planet. So keep watering your lotus. I love you. Have a great day. Thanks again, everybody. And I'm just going to leave you with a quote by Milton Berle, one of my favorite comedians, who once said, "Laughter is an instant vacation." I just love that. So, anytime you want a vacation with me, just let me know. I love it. I love to hear your laughter. Okay? Well, it's time to go, so you know what they say. No more stay.